What's going on YouTube? This is Jim Afanis, aka Viper Magic, and today I wanted to give you guys my graphic settings for Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PC. Now, you guys probably saw my video yesterday where I was really excited to get into the game, and unfortunately I haven't gotten too far yet because I've been fiddling a lot with my settings, doing a lot of different research, playing with everything, and most of the times when you change a setting you have to relaunch the entire game, so a lot of trial and error got me to where I am today. So, before I get into my settings, I want to give you guys my performance, my hardware specifications rather. I'm running an i7-3820 at 3.6 gigahertz. I just got 16 gigabytes of RAM. I'm running it on a solid state drive, and I'm using a GTX 560 Ti. Okay, so here's what I stumbled across that actually worked best for me, and there may be other ways to do it, but this is what seems to work best for me. Now, one of the cool things that GTA 5 does is it actually shows you what your total video memory is, and you can actually see every setting that you do will increase or decrease what you're currently driving towards your video memory. As I mentioned, I do have a 560 Ti, which only has 1 gig of RAM. As a result, I don't have a whole lot to play with. You do see that my video memory is actually exceeding that, and as long as you turn off the ignore suggested limits, you'll be okay, and you can go ahead and fiddle with it all you want. This setting I have now gives me pretty close to 60 frames a second with a pretty nice draw distance and medium to high texture quality. So I played with the GTX. I played with the DirectX version a little bit. You could see if as I start cycling through DirectX 10, DirectX 10.1, it changes the number a little bit. For some reason, my magic number on my computer, for whatever reason, seemed to be around 1750. If I went over 1750, I started to notice very big inconsistencies and spikes in my graphic performance. So that's the reason I left this. And as far as I can tell, and I'm sure that there's more to it than that, it does disable certain options like this MSAA, which I have off anyway. So me having it at a lower DirectX didn't really seem to bother me. I am running it at full screen. I'm running it at 16:9. If I could run it at the full 1080p 1920 by 1080. However, my frame rate drops significantly, and I really want to have that 60 frames a second experience. That looks really good to me on this game. So that's why I dropped this down. I'm just going to pan through some of these other options. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I'm not entirely sure what every one of these does, but I can tell you that the way I have it actually works pretty well. So here is where I noticed the biggest changes in things. Like you look at my texture quality right now is high. I'm at 1725. Look at the drastic and changes it goes through. It goes from 1725 to 1800 down to 1000. So that's 700 megabytes of RAM right there on the texture quality. But it was important to me to get these at high, and I did notice a big difference when, especially in texture quality and in shadow quality. And I'll show you the shadow quality in a second here. I'm parked at the spot for a specific reason. Reflection quality is normal. Unfortunately, this means sometimes when you're looking in a mirror, it looks kind of dopey. Your side view mirrors on your car either are non-existent or don't look that great, but again, running an older card that's actually one entire generation below the recommended settings on the back of the box, because the box does say the recommended specs is a GTX 660. So I'm running a 560, and they do recommend 2 gig RAM. I only have 1. So actually the minimum specs for this game do show a, let me find it, a 9800 1 gig RAM. So RAM, definitely, if you're going to upgrade a card for this game, you definitely want to get more RAM than not. It'll give you a little bit more room to play with. And you can see the rest of my settings here. Again, is there a better way to do this? Probably. This is a hodgepodge of looking online from a couple different people, trying to piece together settings that worked for me with my criteria, which to me was at least or as close to as possible 60 frames a second without it stuttering. I didn't want any stutter. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to make any changes. I'll just click around. Advanced graphics, I have everything is off. So, what does this look like? Well, I'll show you guys. So the cool thing about this game is that it does seem to be extremely well optimized. I know it was out on the old gen consoles, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and it looked amazing. Then it came over to the PlayStation 4, and it looked amazing. And now it's on PC. Now, just parking here right now, I'm not going to move. If you look out in the horizon, you see cars. You'll see sometimes they vanish. One just happened there. There's one in the background driving away. One's coming towards us, and it vanished before it hit that yellow street sign. So even with max draw distance, I guess as a result of my settings or whatever, I'm not able to see as far as I'd like. But I noticed that popping doesn't bother me too much. I still feel like I have enough situational awareness that things aren't just magically appearing in front of me. So there's that. And the shadow quality. So you see the headlights look really, really good. You could already see the reflection or the shadow on the road of the light. I guess the light's dirty. But when I pull up to these blades of grass, you could see how amazing that looks. I'm just going to park it there for a second. You guys can check that out. This kind of shadow and stuff looks really, really good. And when you're driving through like tunnels, the way the reflections hit, the way the shadows hit, it puts together a really good experience. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not. I'm recording everything using the OBS software right now, and I noticed about a 5 or so frame rate drop in my gameplay performance, which is okay, I guess. It doesn't look too bad to me, but just for kicks while we're here, I want to show you guys some of the benchmark settings. We'll run through a few of these together just so you could see that I'm not making this up, and I really am truly running at the frame rate I say I am. Oh, I got to get out of a vehicle to run the benchmark settings. Whilst in a vehicle, you cannot run it. Anyway, this gives me a good opportunity real quick before I load it up to just show you some of the panning and everything. And on my PC, this looks amazing. I hope this translates well to YouTube. I hope OBS software does this justice. But I'm doing this mostly to show that people who are a little timid of PC games shouldn't be, especially with a game like this, because it is optimized so well. And it looks amazing. Even at low everything, if you wanted to just have everything low with a mediocre resolution, it still looks like a great game. And I highly recommend people check out the... yeah, that's fine, whatever. I highly recommend people do check out this game on PC. There's some really cool mods out there. There's a really cool mod I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit later on. So there you can see my frame rate. It does drop occasionally. It starts around 60. Now I notice when the frame rate counter begins at the very beginning, it seems like it's in the 40s, and then it kind of picks up. I'm assuming that's just a property of how the frame rate counter works. Unfortunately, I have not found a built-in frame rate counter in the game, but I think this is pretty indicative of the kind of gameplay you're going to be seeing on the game in terms of, I mean, this is really drastic weather effects and that sort of thing, but this gives you a pretty good feel for what to expect. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention about the OBS, I did mention that it will limit some of the frame rate that is throughput. I am recording OBS right now at about 50 frames a second. I know YouTube does support 60 frames a second, but if I put my recording thing up too fast, it really screws it up. So anyways, enough rambling. Just wanted to show off that 1, GTA 5 looks amazing even on older computers, and 2, do not be timid of this if you are somebody who's considering getting into the computer world, because these graphics are jaw-droppingly gorgeous. I know there's other videos out there that do a lot better service than I, and talking about the comparison between the next-gen versions and the current-gen versions, but even with really fast flyover like this, when you're seeing a lot of movement, being able to get this kind of resolution on a computer with minimum popping is a really, really cool thing. So highly encourage you guys to all check this out. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos soon. I'm going to be playing later today. I'm going to start diving into some of the heist stuff. So expect more from me on that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and maybe you learned a thing or two. And if not, well, thanks for watching anyway. Do me a favor, comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss anything? Is there a setting that I have on that I could totally change? I'd love to know about it. I do not claim to be a professional videophile by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a console guy who's got a gaming PC that doesn't use it nearly as much as he should. So as I dive more into this, I'll probably get a lot more knowledgeable on it. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.